I've been known to dabble with game creation tools. Unity, Godot, Unreal, Pico 8, Roblox, Core, Scratch, Ren'Py, Monogame. It's safe to say that when it comes to game engines, I'm a bit of a manhunt. What? What do you mean I can't say that in a sponsored video? Really? Oh, the point is that while I consider myself a Unity developer, I'm generally up for trying out. Like a manhunt. Still, even I crave stability sometimes. So when the team behind Jamango reached out to me about making a video, I decided to decline. Today we're going to attempt to make a game in the exciting new platform, Jamango, and we're going to do it without using a single damn line of code. Jamango is a browser-native gaming platform that's currently in closed alpha. It makes it easy for anyone to make, play and share games. If I had to boil this down to one line, I would tell you that it's basically Roblox in a browser, but with a much easier creation process. Sorry, this is editing me interjecting. Like, you can tell it's a different... I'm sat down now. I'm not wearing the shirt that I was wearing earlier. It's a different time of day. I just wanted to clarify, I would not have taken the video if I didn't think the platform was worth talking about. So I'll make you a deal. You guys take it on good faith that I have a little shred of artistic integrity, and I promise to stop showing my face in this video as much. Now, the easiest way to describe a thing to somebody else is to invoke a similar thing that both you and the person you're describing to can recognize, they understand. This is tricky as a YouTuber because, well, you have to find something that most, if not all, of your viewers will be familiar with. But I'm going to give it a go. Jamango's world is voxel-based and made of blocks, kind of like Cube World. So you can easily create a world for your games with the same ease that you would build a base in something like Hytale. But the world building is only part of the equation. What about game mechanics? What about logic? What about code? The logic building system in Jamango is similar to Unreal's blueprints or Unity's visual scripting. You piece together scripts using these nodes, and then you can assign these scripts to blocks or things in the game world. So if you wanted to make it so something happened anytime a player stepped on top of a particular block, you would just drag the on-collision start node, set the details for who and what part of them can trigger the collision, and attach something to the output. But this isn't a tutorial, and I don't know enough to teach you, as we will find out later. We're here to make a game. I went back and forth on what that game would be, so I set about ripping off Mirror's Edge, because that's cool. Cue the montage. So you know the stereotype about men being too stubborn to ask for directions? Well, I spent hours trying to figure out how to change the player's spawn position so that I could put it on top of a skyscraper that I made. And then I gave up and dug out a massive hole in the ground so that the roofline would be in line with ground level and then the spawn position would be on top of a skyscraper that I dug into the ground. Not an ideal solution, but it worked. Until I realized that at some point I got carried away and actually built lots of buildings over the top of my spawn position, basically putting me back in the exact same position that I was in that caused me to dig the hole out in the first place. So finally I asked for directions. Fortunately, the Jamango team were extremely helpful. So, with the city built and the spawn set, I went about making sure the player died if they fell off. My first instinct was to create a city-wide block group at ground level that would kill the player if they touched it. My second instinct was to put insta-kill logic on the blocks that I used to make the ground, so that if the player touched the blocks that formed the road and the pavement, they would die instantly. Now this works perfectly. I just need to remember not to use these blocks anywhere else in the level.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggestions or warnings about events to come are dropped or planted.
Making the level itself was pretty straightforward. If you've ever played a game like Terraria, it's basically that but in 3D. I started out building the basic structure of the course and then went back around and added some visual flavour to everything. And then, finally, we had our world. Alright, stop. This is not fair on Jamango. This is my fault. I basically built this world as though I was just playing a block-based game like Planet Cubed. But even in its pre-alpha state, Jamango has so many more options for building a world. So, let me have another go. Cue the second montage. Well, it's not going to give Mirror's Edge a run for its money anytime soon, but to say that I made all of this in a few hours without writing a single line of code, and this is the pre-alpha version of the platform, I'm pretty impressed. Are you impressed? Please tell me you're impressed, I need the validation. Now, don't get me wrong, I encountered my fair share of bugs. Where did all the textures go? And that incident I alluded to earlier, where I tried to make a huge block group, I'm not sure, but I think I might have crashed the servers or something. At least, I couldn't log back in immediately. Jamango guys, if you noticed the server go down a few days ago, I'm sorry.
We're sorry. We're sorry. Sorry. We're...
But I'm basically an alpha tester here, and I'm choosing to be more impressed by the areas that are slick and polished than dwelling on the areas that aren't quite finished yet. Jamango are aiming for that sweet spot of people who want to make games but are a bit daunted by typical game engines. Or even Roblox, which, let's be honest, for a game platform that prides itself on making simple, easy-to-use games, the game creation side of things could be a little bit easier. As a stepping stone to other engines, or just a stress-free platform to make things in, I think it has a lot of potential, and it's really easy to get into. I mean, I spent hours just messing around with the level. Oh no! The thing that I foreshadowed actually happened!